Okay.
Sure, we'll do that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever as per our time zone. Okay, this would be a demo class for the cyber security. Now, before going ahead, I would like to ask that when we talk about the cyber security, what actually comes in your mind? What you know about the cyber security? Uh, Jyoti, can you please tell me what you understand from the cyber security?
uh, Security threat mostly happening in the internet world, like any kind of softwares.
Mhm. Okay. So what you want to achieve? What is your goal in the cyber security? Currently, are you working in the field of cyber security, or
No, no,
you
I
want
am a
to?
non-IT person.
Mhm. Okay. Uh, Apart from this, any another view about the cyber security?
Uh, Not much.
Okay, no worries. Oh, Sandy, what do you understand from the cyber security?
I don't know anything about cybersecurity. I don't have IT background.
You are also from non-IT background, am I right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Now, cyber security. The name itself says cyber, anything which is connected to the internet. The moment we talks about the things nowadays, what happens? Everybody across the globe is alive, because nowadays 50 to 60% of our works are being used by IT system. It will start from the electricity. It will start the electricity which is coming to your house. Also, uh, it is there is 30-40% of networking, and the cyber related controls are there. The gas pipeline, even the laptops, our education, uh, bankings. At the moment we want to pay the bills and all, everything. We can't imagine our life without internet. Now, the moment we talks about that, every system needs to connected with the internet and all, then the threat is also there. Now, there are several person who are trying to penetrate in our system, whether in network, whether in our software, whether in our IT systems. They are like your laptop, desktop, phones, anything. They are trying to penetrate in our system because due to certain vulnerabilities are there. By by exploiting those vulnerability, they are trying to uh, gain access of our data. Now the question comes here: what what attackers or hackers or the persons with a bad mind, what they want? The most of the cases they trying to steal the data. Once they will once they will steal the data. I think someone is joining. Hey, Eric. Hey, can you hear me? Now we are discussing about the cyber security, because why there is a need of this security, because cyber, we know anything which is connected to internet is termed as the cyber. But basically we are here to protect the security part. Why this security is required? Because there are lot many threats are there which is trying to exploit the vulnerabilities. What is the vulnerabilities? Vulnerabilities are the weaknesses within a system. The hackers or the persons are trying to. I can't hear you, please. Am I audible to you?
I can hear
Anyone
you.
can confirm.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay. Uh, I think. Okay. Now we are discussing about the cyber security. Now, security. Security means we need to safeguard what? Safeguard our assets. We need to safeguard our assets. We do have lot many assets like IT assets, the assets, the data which we do have, like your personal data, your confidential data, the organizational data, all those are called as assets. So we in the cybersecurity, we need to protect our assets by implementing the controls within the organization, by implementing the safeguards within the organization. Now the thing comes here in the security, as I mentioned, that we are going to see lot many controls. No, during the objective behind the cyber security classes is that we will be focusing upon different cyber security related controls, different cyber security related architecture, the fundamental concepts of the cyber security. Now the question comes here, what you are going to learn from the cyber security related classes? You will able to understand the IT, the basic IT function. You are going to understand the basic controls, what we need to implement within the organization. When I'm talking about the controls, it's nothing but a safeguard measure. The safeguard, there are three kinds of safeguard measures what needs to be implemented in the organization. The, fir- the first kinds of measure are called as your protective control. The first control is your protective control. Control type is your protective control. Second control type is your detective control. And the third control type is your corrective control. Now, what is the protective control? The protective control are those control which prevent, or you can say preventive controls are the control which prevent organization from any kinds of threats, from any kinds of mishappening related to cyber activities. Detective controls is nothing but it detects, like you may have you people may have seen, like smoke detectors are being installed in office premises, malls, or railway stations and all. Now, what is that smoke detectors? Smoke detectors normally detects the fire or smoke. So that is called as a detective control. In the same way, in IT itself, like antivirus you are installing in your system, everybody may have antivirus or anti-malware maybe installed in their system. What is anti-malware? Anti-malware is your detective control. It detects the malwares and block it. You can call it as a preventive control also and the detective controls also. Now the last control type is your corrective control. Now everything we can't protect. There may be certain scenario where after having certain safeguards, incident will happen. Now what we need to do in case of any incident happen, how to tackle those incidents, how to react those incidents, so that there should be a minimum downtime on the organization. So that these are the three control types what which are there we need to implement in the organization. Now, the basic part, what I understand, what every security practitioner or cyber security practitioner understand, the starting point, how the controls comes later on, but how you come to know how what kinds of controls of safeguard measure I need to take. Everything will start from a risk. Everything would restart from a risk. That's why it is very important in the cyber security field to identify the cyber risk, cyber security related risk. The moment you know your enemy, you can protect yourself. In the same way, in the cyber field also, we need to know our enemy. We need to know what are the risks. That means the 30% of our job will be done the moment we are able to identify the risk within the organization. That's why this risk is very much important. We'll be going to understand different types of GRC models. What are the GRC models are? GRC models are your governance, risk, and compliance model. Because what I understand, uh, you people may not be much technicals and all. In that case, the governance, risk, and compliance is altogether a different field in the cyber security, which doesn't require much technical knowledge, but you must have heard about the cyber security auditor or internal auditors or IT auditors and all. Now, governance, risk, and compliance is a
I'm sorry, I
go.
cannot hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Sure. Now, governance, risk, and compliance is a framework nowadays are being used in the cyber security to identify the risk related to cyber security. This is governance, risk, and compliance. Every organization like Amazon.com or Google or bigger organizations are implementing this framework within their organization to fight against the cyber security and all. Governance, risk, and compliance. Basically, governance, that means you need to work on creating the policies and processes across the organization. Risk is the identification of the risk, identification of your cyber security related risk. And compliance means you need to conduct an internal audit, or you can conduct an external audit to your vendors and all, to ensure that organization are compliant. Nowadays, most of the organizations are outsourcing their services to a third party organization. Now, if there is a risk which is originating from your third party organization, that means it could impact you also. That's why there is a portfolio that is called as VRM, that is called as the vendor risk management. This would be also part of your cybersecurity functions. Now, in the same way, there are vacancies which are coming like a risk analyst, or you can say a risk manager, or you can say GRC, governance, risk, and compliance manager. These kinds of portfolios are also there. If you are from India, you can search naukri.com. If you are from another organization, you can go to indeed.com. You can search the vacancies related to governance, risk, and compliance. Now, apart from this, in the cybersecurity classes, we'll be focusing upon different you can say different fields, like we'll be focusing upon your network security. We'll be focusing upon your endpoint security, that is your laptop, desktop, and all. You'll be focusing upon your mobile device security. Will be covering your communication security, let me wireless communication or your cabling related communication and all. And we will be trying to identify the vulnerability within the system, that how you can identify the vulnerability within the system by doing VAPT and all. And we'll be focusing upon data privacy. But nowadays you may have heard about there are regulation like GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation. This GDPR is also one of the this is a data privacy related regulation, wherein uh, the moment you are collecting the personal information of a user. Now, what is the personal information? Like your name, your phone number, your credit card information, your address, your gender. Uh, these are your email ID, your phone number, your address. These are called as the personal data, or PII, personally identifiable information. The moment you are collecting those informations, then you need to implement the appropriate controls within the organization. There are a lot, and there are, you need to take the consent from the user, you need to do the risk assessment. There are a lot many things are there. So that would be also part of our this journey. Now the question comes here: in the cyber security, there is a in the cyber security, always we will be focusing upon only three things. What are those three things in the cyber? Sorry, in the cyber security, everyone would be focusing upon the three things. The objective of the cyber security is only these three things. We need to protect only these three things. This is the objective of your cyber security. In the cyber security, we'll be focusing upon the confident to protect the confidentiality of the data or the information, to protect the integrity of the data and information, and to protect the availability or to maintain the availability of the data. Now, what does this confidentiality means? You may be having certain confidential information like your credit card PIN or your credit card number would be a confidential information. Now, that information you are protecting. How you are protecting that information? You are not sharing. You are not sharing it with any persons. In the same way, there are lot many confidential data which is there in the organization that should be also protected by implementing certain controls within the organization. Integrity. What is the integrity of the data? The da the data should not be changed. When suppose I am sending something to you, I am transferring $100 to you. There should not be a case like you will receive only $80 or you will receive $200. The value should not be changed. This, whatever I have transferred, you should have received that thing. In the same way with the data also. If I am sending certain files to you, same file should be sent back to you. This should not be changed. This is how we need to implement the control to protect the integrity of the data. And in the last, availability of the data. We need to maintain the data, availability of the data. You need to understand Amazon.com. If he is doing certain business, Amazon, imagine if Amazon.com business is down for 1 hour. If their business would be down for 1 hour, they are going to lose millions of dollars. So can Amazon.com accept this loss? The answer would be no. Then how they are maintaining these kinds of resiliency? They are maintaining these kinds of resiliency by planning their business continuity plan, by planning their backups in case of their primary server is not going to work. Then they will going to up their operation from the secondary server and from another location. Even a country would be failed. They do have that kinds of resiliency. If a country is also not being operational, they will operate their website from some another country. So that kind of resiliency they do have. That means availability. Now, everywhere in the cyber security, you need to understand these three terms: confidentiality, integrity, and the availability. This is the pillar of cyber security. These are the things we are going to learn. Apart from this, certain We'll be going to learn different kinds of security related controls, like controls related to your access control, security operation, risk identification, cryptography, network communication, and system and application security. So these are the things we'll be covering in our cybersecurity training program. So there would be 30 to 40% theoretical sessions would be there. And the thing is that if we need to focus upon our basics also, we need to understand what is the endpoint devices, what are servers, what are the networks, and a basic concept related to uh, internet and all, then will be succeed and all. And GRC would be most promising field. There are lot many jobs are in the cyber security. There are jobs like pen testing. If you are good in hacking activities, or you are good in doing the uh, pen test, you can go and become the pen test, you can go and become the SOC analyst. You can work as a GRC, governance risk and compliance manager. You can work as a SOC analyst. You can work as a risk manager. You can work as a vendor risk manager. So cyber security is the ocean where there is a job there is lot many jobs of different kinds of roles. What There are different teams are there in the fields of cyber security. This is the infosec wills, where there are different teams are there who would be uh, we will be focusing upon this white team, because this white team would be your governance, risk and compliance. And these teams are interacting with all the teams, whether you are security operational, whether you are a person who is identifying the vulnerability within the system, whether you are person who is doing the software development and architecture design, whether you are person who is doing the uh, training within the organization, or whether you are person who is enhancing the security posture of your organization. We'll be focusing upon this white team. Why we'll be focusing? Because this white team do have lot many jobs, because the skill set would be more. You The moment you want to interact with each of the team, you should have at least basic knowledge of all the functions within the cyber security. That's all from my side. If you people do have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Hi. Hello.
Hey, hi. Yeah,
Hi.
hi.
Are we getting prepared for any certification at the end of this course?
Right.
What
There are
kind of
Yes. In the cyber security, we'll be focusing upon certain standards. That standards would be your first standard would be your ISO 27001. ISO 27001 lead auditor. This ISO,
no?
ISO is an international organization for standardization. This is
Like ISI?
organized, yeah, same. ISO is a organization which is publishing a standard across the globe. I think 144 plus countries of this member of this ISO, and they are publishing the standards to regulate to, like suppose in information security they do have a standard 27001. If you are trying to maintain the quality within the organization, they do have different standard like ISO 9001. So they do have different standard. And organization, basically lot many organization are looking for this ISO 27001 implementation and the certifications. You will be covering this ISO 27001. We'll be covering ISO 27005. We will be covering the uh, ISACA ISACA. Do you know ISACA?
No.
ISACA do have a certification called, let's, CISA or CISM, Certified Information Security Auditor or Certified Information Security Manager. Will be covering this.
So covering this means we are just covering the portions, or are we getting the questions for the discussing the certification questions and all?
Yeah, we'll be discussing. We'll be discussing on the question parts and all. What kinds of question would be coming to your exam? Uh, how you need to answer these questions and all. Like this
Anupam,
is
sorry for
for your.
interrupting your meeting. Do you want me to restart the meeting because the meeting will end in 5 minutes?
Not required. I think we'll
Okay.
cover. So this is your ISO 27027,001 auditor exam. There are 40 questions are there. This is a kind of real type exam questions. What kinds of questions would be asked in your exams and all. We'll be discussing upon the questions also.
So these are the two certifications we will be taking after this course.
Right.